Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We're on episode 32. We are at the Heavens Arena still. And we have got a match going on that is not with Gon and it's not with Killua, but it's with Hisoka instead. We've met a new guy by the name of Castro who is very high level because he is, well, right now, as of this moment, he is kind of decimating Hisoka. Now, even though that may be the case in terms of, like, you know, points, I guess. Hisoka doesn't seem fazed by what's going on. Castro has literally just taken off Hisoka's right arm. And Hisoka caught his right arm in midair and never even flinched once. He obviously, like, he offered up his left hand, you know, as a way to try and figure out exactly what Castro is doing, about how this technique works. Castro can kind of like double himself, you know, so there's two of them. And it's not just an after image or a pre image either. It can actually hit, you know what I mean? So it is literally another him. And he's using Nen somehow to do this, which is crazy. And yeah, that is where we left off. And I don't think there's anything else of note really from last episode other than that. Aside from the fact that Gon is healed up again. It only took 1 month when he needed 4 months of recovery time. At least that's what they said. And it only took 1 month. So yeah, but he is, you know, he's been told that he's not allowed to even watch matches, let alone just participate. He's not even seeing what's going on right now. He's busy training his 10 and whatnot. So, like he promised. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 32. See what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 32. A very interesting episode, featuring mainly Hisoka. Hisoka was almost like the main character of this episode specifically. Oh, God. It's weird, like, finding out that he's a part of Phantom Troupe, right? But then, in not even, like, I mean, in the exact same episode, and not even just the fact that it's in the same episode, but you're talking, like, literally minutes later, it's like a reveal of, like, oh, it's a fake tattoo. Like, I feel like you could have, I don't know. It's weird. It's almost weird writing to have it that way, because I feel like you could have had Hisoka be a part of the Phantom Troupe and, like, have the audience or the viewers, like, feel like, oh yeah, he's like part of this group, and then, like, reveal it at a later time, like, oh shit, it's a fake tattoo with he's using the texture surprise, you know what I mean, as, like, you know, where he got it tattooed onto. And, like, you could have had, like, a whole thing, like, surrounding that. So it's interesting that they reveal that he's part of the Phantom Troupe, and then have him, like, you know, basically, you know, it revealed that it was just a fake tattoo, and he's not wanting to be a part of it at all. Anyway, the only thing I can gather is that the mangaka is basically, you know, thinking that the viewers will already be aware that Hisoka's not one to play with others, you know what I mean? He's not that way inclined to be a part of the Phantom Troupe. So they're like, oh, there's no use, like, acting like he is part of the fucking group. Like, just, you know, let's just do what we know that Hisoka's going to do, you know? But yeah, so Pink Hair, whatever her name is, we didn't get her name, but she's a part of the Phantom Troupe, right? I'm wondering then if Illumi is a part of the Phantom Troupe, because Hisoka and Illumi know each other, to some degree. The Phantom Troupe is like, I don't know if the Phantom Troupe itself has a requirement to be a hunter in order to join. I don't think that's the case, because I feel like Hisoka would have been a part of this, the Phantom Troupe for, like, you know, before the Hunter exam, and he wasn't a hunter back then, so I feel like, you know, maybe that's not the case for Illumi as well then. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a requirement, is it, to be a hunter anyway. So yeah, but yeah, of course he'd be number 4. I feel like I feel like Hisoka himself actually waited to be the 44th person to enter into the exam just to get the numbers 4 and 4. He likes 4 a lot. But yeah, so during the fight, played a card trick. Had his arm stick to the roof while Texture Surprise stuck to the floor, using his aura to basically attach all the cards attached to Castro himself. You know, and by using all of these like different things, you know, getting the fuck that was disgusting. Like reaching into his own arm to pull out a card. Ugh, it's fucking horrible. But I like the little detail of obviously, you know, throwing the ace at one of them. Basically creates you know, blood on the on the costume, and when he creates it, it's like that's not recreated, you know, because you're not like recreating. I feel like you could recreate it. You could recreate the blood on his doppelganger or whatever the hell. But he has to be aware that it's there in order to create it, right? And because it was that little, you know what I mean? That, you know, he didn't recognize that that's what he needed. And you know, the pink-haired girl basically mentioned the fact that he lost the mental game, you know what I mean? It was something that in the reaction when it was happening, I was aware of, and I was going to say it, I just didn't, because it all happened like immediate, like it happened the split second, like I thought about it. It's like, oh, he's egging him on to come towards him, you know. It was interesting the fact that Hisoka was like, if he'd remained composed, like he could have had a chance. So he's still up there. He's like he's highly skilled. I don't think he's dead. I was expecting when Hisoka was basically like, think of a card in your head. I'm gonna have to go back and do that, by the way, and just see what the crack is, because you know, if I was to pick a card of the 13, right, because it's impossible that they're all going to be able to equal 1, right? But who knows? I might be wrong. I'll just have to see. But yeah, I don't think he's dead. I mean, but yeah, he was expecting, like, well, think of a card in your head. I was expecting it to be like a card trick turned into something literal. So like, I was expecting like the ace card to be the final throw, and he like throws it into his head. It's like, think of the card in your head. Boof. You know what I mean? Never happened though. So yeah, I don't think he's dead. I mean, it's not like they're dug in deep. You know what I mean? They're deep enough to stick in, but they're not in any real. They're not that far in, and they're not in any dangerous area. So, you know, I don't think he's dead. So yeah, but that basically means that Hisoka only needs 1 more win, right? But that's the thing, like, I don't know. I don't think Hisoka really cares. You know what I mean? But yeah, so the pink-haired girl, she's got some weird stuff, like the snapshot thing. She was mentioning that, you know, if you're focusing Ren elsewhere in your body, like focusing Ren in your eyes, they would be able to see that. So I guess like it's able to, by focusing Ren in your eyes, you're able to see aura and things more clearly, in other people and stuff. So I wonder if that goes to every, like, if you focus Ren in your ears, are you able to hear like further? You know what I mean? Like, does it increase your senses depending on where you focus your Ren at? Like, could you focus your Ren in your legs and run faster or jump higher or something? You know, focus your Ren in your arm and punch harder. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, because, you know, focusing Ren into your eyes to sort of, although I guess it didn't particularly mention that you see better with it, like you could see further. It just said that you could see aura, so maybe not then. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's not a case of increasing the sense, but it's only seeing like things that aren't normally meant to be seen, so aura and stuff, you know. I guess that makes sense, you know what I mean? Because I was wondering, she does these weird snapshot things. I was wondering if that was a thing of Ren, like by focusing some sort of Ren in her eyes. She takes a snapshot, which I'm guessing what she's doing is, it's like, the only thing I can describe it is, there is people who can take mental snapshots of something, like the guy who went, like, basically took a helicopter ride around New York, and just from that one plane ride, he was able to draw, like, the whole of New York, you know what I mean, down to, like, the little details, just by one plane ride, because he has a photographic memory. And I wonder, by her taking these snapshots, it's kind of like that, where it's a mental image in her head, she's basically looking at the wound where everything needs to be tied up, and then she uses these Nen stitches. God, fucking Nen. It seems like you can do everything. It seems like there's like no end to the kind of weird shit you can get. And that's why I was saying in the last episode in the discussion, like, something tells me that Nen might be the only sort of the only thing revolving aura. It's like, you know, there was an interesting quote that Hisoka said about, like, you recognize it was Nen, not magic, and it's weird hearing that quote, because when you think of Nen, you're thinking of, well, it's magic. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting quote, but, like, I feel like Nen might be the only type of real, like, of magic that, you know, that exists, except you can use Nen in different ways. So, you know, like, it might be like it might seem like a completely different kind of technique or ability, but it all stems from Nen, because you're using your own aura and stuff, right? I might be completely wrong, and because of the fact that there's still a hell of a lot of episodes left to go, that, you know, it might be bigger than what I'm thinking about, and, you know, there might be other techniques out there we just haven't seen yet, you know? I mean, we're working our way through the story, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be, like, a sort of a level curve, like, you know, you know, as stories progress through, you're kind of coming across new things. So it wouldn't surprise me if there are different techniques and stuff like that. So yeah, but she used these pins, and I'm sure those are the same pins that Illumi was using when he was Gitaraka, right? I'm sure that was, like, they're exactly the same. So when she's using them with the, you know, because you can just use pins, I guess, you know, when you're stitching, that's, you know, you use kind of like needles or pins, like the kind of, you know what I mean, to sew the stitches in, right? But I'm wondering if the pins, if they are the same ones as Gitaraka used, when Gitaraka was able to, like, mold his face into something different, if by using those pins it does help, like, attaching the wound and stuff. Because I guess, like, in that regard, you can kind of, like, shift DNA around and stuff like that. I don't know. Could be completely wrong, but yeah. So the other thing is, like, I'm kind of 50-50 on this, and I don't know if you know, did Hisoka create this bungee gum and texture surprise, or was it already a thing? And he just called them bungee gum and texture surprise when there's something else. I mean, I didn't catch what the bungee gum was, but, like, the texture surprise came up with flimsy lies, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I can say it both ways. The pink-haired girl also basically said that, like, oh, they are perfect for you. So it's almost like they were already made, but, you know, Hisoka's, it kind of just works with him, you know, and. Yeah. Because I think texture surprise makes sense in the context of what it was used for, and then flimsy lies also works as well, because it's, you know, I guess, well, flimsy, it's like a slight, I don't know, the lies bit works. Flimsy, I'm not really sure, because when I think of flimsy, I think of something that's, like, you know, it's not the greatest quality, and I feel like that stuff is. You know what I mean? It's, to be able to look like something completely different. But yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, with the pins, I'm wondering, like, if they are the same, because it very well fucking could be. It would make sense that Illumi was part of the Phantom Troupe if that's the case, you know. or could just be, you know, because I don't know if the Phantom Troupe like has any real interest in communicating with people outside of their group, you know, because it seemed like they were only in talks with Hisoka because he was allegedly he was part of their group. Of course he wasn't, he was just faking it. It's just weird how Illumi was, you know, I don't know, it's interesting, but that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked certain things. One of them is the Discord. If you want any information regarding my content, you can get yourself over there. You can also come talk to me or the community as well. And Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every single week. So you know, that's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. So by the time this comes out on YouTube, there will be like, you know, a shit ton of episodes that you can go and watch just for like, you know, the first month, just $5. You'll probably be able to watch like up to, I don't know, maybe episode 60, maybe beyond, because the general public only gets access to 2 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week, as opposed to the early access patrons, which get 4. So the early access patrons are well ahead. But yeah, that's that. $10 a month, that is the full length. That gives you access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. I believe this episode was full length when I put it up as well, so enjoy that. Exclusive tier, that is the $15. That gives you access to a bonus show I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. Elite tier, that is the $50. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go at the back of the list by about 7 shows. Might take a while to get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, and you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.